Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the 808 podcast where I interview business owners, CEOs, whoever else I feel like. 4 questions in 8 minutes and 8 seconds because 808 looks like Bob. And here we go. Question number 1 in a few sentences. Tell us who you are and what do you do?
My name is David Alsop, and I am the founder of JumpSpark LLC, which is a consulting project that I've got to be able to help people connect across our differences in companies and in society in general.
Perfect. Love it, David. Question number 2. What advice would you like to share? Go.
I want to help anyone listening to remember a couple things and how to do it. One, I want to remind people to connect across our differences by disrupting our status quo thinking and our connections and the people we're around. How you do that is you do everything you can in your social media platforms to find people different from you and follow them the same you would with people like you. And that will help disrupt the algorithms of social media. So you're thinking and getting thoughts different from what you usually would in your comfort zone. I also want to invite people to just reach out. And if someone looks like different from you, thinks different from you, you might want to be their friend. And that's something that I try to apply in everything that I do. So as we do those things, I want to help us to connect across our differences. And I invite you to do that by just helping people get to know your whole self and let them feel safe doing the same with you so you can build a connection with diversity instead of comfort zones.
So give me an example of someone that you connected with who's completely different than you and how did it benefit you?
So one example is I recently relocated about 4 years ago back to Utah where I grew up, and I grew a career where I had a lot of diversity in my networks. And then I came back to Utah where there was less diversity in my neighborhood, in the environments I was in. So I made an effort and I reached out to a lot of different people. One of those people being James Jackson III. He's an influencer that he started the Black Chamber of Commerce here in Utah. And just through that connection, we became good friends. He helps me understand where he's coming from in this state, that he's a Black man in Utah and I'm a white man in Utah. And we talk through our differences and understanding how we help each other be successful in whatever we're doing together.
Perfect. Love that there. Let's get to question number 3. What other top CEOs, business owners, influencers that you know are successful just like you that you want to give a shout out to?
I want to call out a few people that I just have been inspired by in my career. One is Howard Friedman. He is the CEO of Post Consumer Brands. So he's making Fruity Pebbles go like crazy right now. So connect with him. Tessa White. She is Tessa White, the job doctor, a great person to connect on understanding how to manage your job and the environment in your workplace. Christine Zworyk is the CEO of White Label Advisors. She helps people with their HR strategies in small to medium organization. And then Ryan Hammond is the founder of Ryan Hammond Coaching, and he does a great job just helping people to make their Mondays feel like Fridays.
Awesome. I'll look them up. We're done here. Question number 4, the final fun question. David, tell me about your first sale.
My first sale that comes to mind where I failed and learned a lot from it was about 18 years ago. I was a sales representative for Kraft Foods, and I covered Walmarts across the Western United States. And specifically in Utah, I made a huge sale that I was so excited about by selling 4 truckloads of chocolate oranges. Terry's chocolate oranges. They're the ones that you whack on the floor and they break apart. So when I sold that, I was just a new salesperson. And when I called it in, our account rep said with his jaw dropped, we actually haven't manufactured that much chocolate and it's not going to happen for you. So I couldn't get it to my stores and I failed, but that's what taught me about selling in a logistics supply chain mentality and being more educated on it in my career.
Right, making sure that you can actually supply it there and talk to them. Hey, how much can we give them? That whole thing there. Totally.
Yep, you can't sell something if you don't have it.
Totally get it there. So, hey, David, you now have 4 minutes left. We can do some promo time. You can ask me a question. You can talk about the weather, or since the best know when to be concise and when to end, we end early. Go for it.
I'm going to do 2 promos really quickly. I'm going to promote the company where I am the head of HR right now. It's Ultradent Products. We make products that you probably don't know you have in your mouth for dentists, but we also make products that are available on Amazon right now called Opalescence Teeth Whitening Toothpaste.
Okay.
So It's a global leader in teeth whitening, and it's a great company to both work for and buy products from. Also, just JumpSpark. Our website is thejumpspark.com, and it's a place where you can just simply rent my brain if you're trying to figure out how to connect across differences, disrupt your environments, and make them better for the human experience. So those are 2 promos I'd give. I just want to ask you a question. It's been about 14 years since I lived in Denver and Colorado. How are things up there? How's the weather?
Weather as of this day is a little snowy, but as you know, like I'm not sure much about Denver, but in Colorado Springs, we get those 2 months of snow a year, but it's like 1 or 2 days of barf, then it's sunny. So it's not like we have like these, again, now right now is a little different, but most of the time, I mean, we'll get snow in the summer, but then it's gone.
Yeah.
So I'm not that worried about it there. So
yeah, that's what I remember. The sun would always melt the snow. So
yeah, it would melt it very quickly. So it's like, whatever. So it was actually funny. My grandmother a couple years back came to visit, got up, was like, oh, it's snowing. I'll wake my grandfather up later to show him. And by the time grandpa woke up, the snow was pretty much almost melted.
That's the best. That's the best. You don't have to shovel it. You just wait till afternoon and it's gone.
Absolutely there. So, hey, you got 2 minutes and 15 seconds left. Is there anything else you want to add, or we can end early and that's okay?
No, I think it's just a theme that I wanted to leave with people. And if people can just understand, whether it be a business leader, whether it be an individual, whether it be our government officials, if we can stop fighting and going to separate sides of our arguments and standing up and not listening to each other, if we can just make our statement and then listen to the other side make the statement and then ask them more questions to understand, we will have a better world, because we're actually trying to connect across the differences versus establish boundary lines in between them. I wish we could do better, and that's what I'm on a mission to help with.
Absolutely love it there. You pulled it off. 4 questions in 8 minutes and 8 seconds. David, why is it 8 minutes and 8 seconds?
Because it's 808 Bob.
Exactly. You pulled it off. Your website, say it real quick.
TheJumpSpark.com.
It's in the description. It's magic. David, thank you so much for being on. Tip of the hat to you.
Tip of the hat to you, Bob. Thank you.
You're welcome. And for everyone else watching or listening, I am legally required to tell you to like, share, comment, subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell, whatever the heck the social media network tells you to do. You all have a wonderful day now. Talk to you later. Bye.